everybody, welcome back to Coach's Corner this week. Today we're going to start a new series on self-talk and how it can affect your training and performance. So, Brian, what do you think self-talk is?
Self-talk is talking to yourself, obviously. Essentially what you're trying to do is not negatively talk down to yourself, so don't say you suck, don't say you are horrible at everything, don't say you're worthless. That's negative self-talk. That will defeat you in a heartbeat. Positive self-talk is saying, you know what, I did this part right, I can do the next part right. So you build yourself up. If you're always down on yourself, you're gonna stay down.
Sounds about right. Robert, what do you think it is?
It's that little voice in your head. It's that thing that people always tell you not to listen to. That, like, people in my position, I beat myself up all the time. I'm constantly, the rep was never good enough, the weight was never high enough. There's always something to critique. It's just when you take it past that point that you need to watch out for it. It is good to look at yourself and to critique yourself and find your weaknesses and point them out. But it's when that's all you do, it can be detrimental, not only to your training but to your mental health and even to your health overall. So.
No, it's definitely true, and both of them make a good point with self-talk. When we look at it in general, self-talk really is, like Brian said, Robert said the little voice in your head, and I laugh because of or the big voice for some people. Sorry. So, but it is that voice that we say to ourselves, and sometimes we're not even conscious that we're doing it. I know a lot of times when I work with athletes, there's, hey, what did you say to yourself after that? And they're just like, I don't know. And so when we start getting people to realize the things that they say to themselves and the way they speak to themselves, they're often surprised by either how negative it is or, in the few cases, positive. So, but self-talk can be good and bad. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it can become detrimental if you don't notice it and if you have an abundance of negative self-talk.
It can also be a negative if you have that abundance of false positive stuff, right?
Oh, that's true.
Say, like, I'm a rock star, I do everything right, when you're not doing it right.
I feel attacked, guys. Yes.
Okay.
No, but that is true. So, what we've noticed, and this self-talk might be if somebody in powerlifting or strongman is going above their capabilities, and let's say their 1 rep max on squat is 300 pounds, and they're like, you know what, I'm just going to do 375 for funsies, and they just got their 1 rep max on 300 last week. Okay, chances are they can't do 375. They might be able to, but so then they go, I've got this, I can do this, and they amp themselves up, but they're actually putting themselves in danger with that type of talk because chances are they're going to get hurt, or they're going to really hurt their ego. Either way, they get hurt. But so that's an example of that, at least what I got. Do you have an example of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly that. You're kind of almost overconfident in your abilities or your capabilities, and it's the same as talking yourself down. You really have to reel it in and never give yourself too much hype and never give yourself too much flack. It's what I was going back to, like when you're critiquing yourself, you can give yourself good critiques and you're like, I did really good on that rep. You don't want to come off and be like, that was the best rep ever. Nobody's going to do something better than that. Like you don't want to feed false hope because that'll eventually deflate. You really want to stack on something that's a solid foundation of facts and of what you're capable of. So.
No, and that's a great point for sure. And then negative self-talk, it gets. We hear a lot of, okay, I'm not strong, I'll never be strong, I'm never getting anywhere. That's some of the things that I'll see on social media pretty often, or I know this isn't strong, but I'm really happy with this. That's negative self-talk too. Saying I'm not strong, and they're excited about their lift clearly. But after, let's say you're deadlifting and you're having difficulty with deadlifting lately, and you do a lift and it doesn't come off the ground, and you're frustrated because you've been able to do that lift many times in the past. And so the first thing you might say to yourself is,
Weak.
I'm weak.
I suck.
I suck. And that's not helpful to anybody to do that. Yes, you might be weak in that moment, but I doubt you suck all the time or are constantly weak. So, and what we'll get into eventually at the next video is how we can combat that. But for now, if we were to continue that line of thought, how good do you think your deadlifts are going to get?
If you're always saying that you suck and that you can't hit it, it's probably going to be pretty bad most of the time. There are rare cases where people do also use the negative self-talk as motivation, which doesn't always work out so well. What do you think, Robert?
Yeah, Robert, what do you think?
I think you're on the head there with it. I mean, there is like a group of people that uses negative self-talk as motivation, but not everybody is like that. So you can't just expect to react in the same way you see somebody else react to how they deal with themselves.
Yep.
You have to find your own way in everything that you do. And if it's, whether it's being a cheerleader for yourself or being the critic for yourself, but you have to stand behind that 100%. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm a big self-doubter, then I'm not going to instantly like turn around and be a cheerleader for myself and everything is going to come up roses. It's not.
I'll cheerlead for you, buddy. I got you.
He'll even wear the skirt.
Oh yeah. Why not? I got some nice legs. See? Self-talk. Positive.
So, but that is a good point that sometimes negative self-talk can be used constructively to make a point. And I think in those situations it's important to understand yourself. If you're the type of person who, if somebody says you can't do it, you're automatically like, I'm going to do it because of that, then negative self-talk might be helpful for you. But you have to pay attention to the way your mind and body react to the self-talk and determining that, which is, I think, where you were going with that. And, if you don't react good to negative self-talk and you feel like crap after, and then you're realizing it's hindering your lifts, maybe it's not good for you. So, that's all I have to say about this for today. You guys have anything?
Nope.
Covered everything.
Awesome. Well, next week we'll talk about how we can challenge our self-talk and change it to help make us better in our performance and training. So thank you again for coming to visit, and
As always, like and subscribe and follow our YouTube live training.